Yeah, that's a an interesting dynamic for sure. Is like the going on inspiration versus on a schedule, um, and both I think have their merits. You talked about like you felt called to write this short story. I think that's something that a lot of people wait a long time or search a long time to try to find a calling of some sort, and even if it's just for a particular thing that it's not a life mission maybe, but one thing to do. um, I think it's probably best, to your point, to answer the call. um, for me, I started writing December 2019, soon after I got back. The Jets were actually, I'm a Jets fan, unfortunately, and they were losing
I
to the
grew up as a Jets fan too.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. But they were
Thank you for your
losing.
condolences.
Yeah, they were losing to the Bills. I'm still in it, unfortunately. They're losing to the Bills, who hadn't won a game all year at that point. They're like 0-11 or 0-8 or something. And now it's just like, bottom of Jets fanhood is always when they lose to the team that hasn't won a game all year. This year, that would have been possible because they were the team that hadn't won the game all year. But I was like, all right, like, I don't really need to watch this fourth quarter. And I'd been thinking about starting this blog and figured that, if I can make, again, like almost like everything happens for a reason. And this sounds like deeper than it is. This is just how I'm wired now. I look for, like, bad things happen. I look for what the good is. And I think that's a really useful way to see the world. And you have to kind of you have to train yourself to be that way. It's not something you can like decide and like start tomorrow necessarily. But I realized, like, wouldn't that be cool if I started this blog, wrote my first blog now, and had the shitty Jets to thank for it, because I wouldn't have never, I might have taken another month to start, or I might have never started. I personally think, like, if you don't start now, if you start now, there's 100% chance that you start. If you don't start now, the chances that you start at the very least go down, and you may never start. And so I used that, and I wrote my first post about basically, writing my first post because the Jets lost, and I don't remember what it was about, but it was very short. And then I basically started writing. I wanted to post a blog every day, every weekday rather, for the foreseeable future, and see where that took me. I had a lot of things that I thought I wanted to write down, and I was able to get a lot of those things down. And then after, like 6-7 months of doing that, I realized, like, this is actually, less and less is it feel like I just wanted more time. And I've, like I said, I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to, like, even my daily activities. And I think writing is for all the reasons you said, from learning to being like a thinking exercise to just being something that you commit to and engage with for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or for me, it was usually closer to like somewhere between 1 and 2.5, 3 hours. Maybe 3 is a little high, but like usually somewhere between 1 and 2.5 hours. And, committing to any activity for that long that's not like video games or like goofing around on your phone is, I think, almost valuable in and of itself these days, when everyone has shorter attention spans, myself included. So there's a ton of benefit to it, but I almost didn't leave myself room to write from inspiration. I would just have to be, oftentimes I would be inspired to write that day, but it was, I also knew that it was something that I kind of had to do. So I wanted to kind of take it out of the system a little bit. And, I didn't know how much time I would have not needing income, but I also knew that writing probably wasn't going to lead to anything significant in that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And, that led me to maybe 2 months of having a little bit more free time, and then deciding that it was probably less than that even. And then deciding that, I wanted to go and do the podcast. And the podcast is something that for me is also like really fun and really valuable. I'm learning so much I set these, I put these guests on the calendar, and I have, I want to prepare well and basically put myself in their mind and in their life and learn everything that they've kind of shared publicly. And in doing that, it's just like the pace of learning is so much faster than I would otherwise be driven to do. So it's been amazing. I've met some amazing people, and I love having interesting conversations like the one that we're having now. And so, who's to say that if I didn't kind of hit the brakes on that writing habit, which I'm totally glad I did for all the reasons I said, and I probably undersold it a little bit. Like I'm very happy that I wrote so much as I did. But giving myself the space to find something else to do in my time, such as the podcast, I don't know if I'd be doing it had I not done that. So, that was part of it.